In the past, everyone came to you and you did business at your own kitchen table.
This is Financial Services Representative Michael Libman with MetLife in Quincy. I still make house calls. I'll confidentially ask you questions to help you make decisions about your life insurance, IRAs, long-term care insurance, investing, and estate planning. Call me and I'll come sit with you at your kitchen table.
MetLife offers financial services and life insurance. Call Michael Libman. He makes house calls.
Welcome back to Flynn Stadium. Bob Goff and Travis Dinkheller, as we'll have the second half for you. And again, thank you for watching this recorded replay of Quincy High soccer. No score at the half between Quincy and St. Ignatius out of Chicago. And St. Ignatius will start things off, but Quincy will grab the ball and hopefully maintain possession much like they did most of the first half. So you did find out what Matt Longo's issue was with the St. Ignatius keeper?
Yeah, I think he was a little upset at the gamesmanship that was going on there. I think the keeper was making an attempt to freeze Aubrey Dissler before he hit that PK. Took his gloves off and tied his shoe and put his gloves back on and just took his time getting himself prepared for that PK.
It just looks like Skip Schumacher, Nomar Garcia Parra in the batter's box. Very similar. Just kind of just getting ready. So Quincy now has it. Moving the ball up the left side, drop it off for Curran. Quincy has it now in front of its own bench, trying to free things up and move it the other way. Hunter Hosher has it. Hunter's been quiet today. He's one of the main Blue Devils' main offensive threats early in this season, but haven't called his name much.
No, again, I think it goes back to with us maintaining possession in the offensive third, we've kind of played too many through balls deep and not allowed ourselves to get on the end of it. I think we found more success with the through balls more in the midfield area. I think when we get in the final third, we need to look to be a little more aggressive with our shots or ping the ball out wide and look for an early flight.
And Quincy gets the ball back to go the other way and try to avoid the official in midfield there. Now Quincy has it. And he'll chip it in, and looks like that one's going to be walled off. Nice run, but nope, the keeper will get it. And St. Ignatius will be in possession. Ball goes ahead, and looks like Quincy will be able to tend to that one as the keeper grabs it. Just getting started here in the second half. Again, I want to thank our sponsors, Knox and Trucking, Quincy Diamonds, Quincy Dynamo, and Michael Libman, your MetLife insurance agent, as the ball goes out of bounds at midfield. And St. Ignatius with it. And the whistle. And St. Ignatius will put in play, but Quincy doing a nice job. Not making it easy, that's for sure. Quincy has it at midfield. Brady Wingirter with it now. And St. Ignatius player goes right to him, and they'll try to get something moving going the other way. Taylor Riefert for St. Ignatius. Moving it up the side. And now the Quincy keeper with it. He'll roll it out. Quincy has it at midfield. Again, no score here at Flynn Stadium between the Wolf Pack of St. Ignatius and the Quincy High School Blue Devils. Quincy wearing the white with the blue numbers. St. Ignatius wearing the maroon and gold. And St. Ignatius looked like they might have had a little something going, but Quincy will get it going the other way. Travis, I mentioned maroon. That makes me think of Moline. And what is the Western Big Six Conference going to be like this year on the boys' side?
Well, I think you have an up-and-coming Alleman program at both the boys and girls sides. Moline and East Moline are always tough. And I know Galesburg's in town across town at the Quincy Notre Dame tournament. So I think, it typically, comes down to Moline, East Moline, Quincy High, but I think Alleman's going to make their presence known. And to be honest, Rock Island last year had a quality side, and I think they returned virtually everybody. So, it'll be a nice Western Big Six Conference year. Hopefully, we can maintain ourselves at the top or near the top with that.
And the one thing, you talk about conference play, but then postseason play, it's very hard to even think about that yet, as here we are in the first week of action. And of course you have no idea which path you're going to get. I know the path for Quincy's been routed through the Metro East for quite some time now, it seems like. So, and of course the competition down there is outstanding as always. But of course, playing competition like you play this weekend is certainly, that's the kind of stuff that gets you ready and get you tested, so you can be ready for postseason. Not just the Western Big Six is one thing, but then playing those other schools, and it's a different animal.
Absolutely, and again, going back to Eric Stratman and the tournaments that he hosts, obviously putting these teams and bringing these teams into Quincy, but then also going down to the Gateway City Classic, where last year we played 3 teams from 3 different states. Washburn Rural out of Topeka, Kansas, and we got to play DeSmet last year. I think all of those things prepare us for the postseason as we get there. I know Coach Longo has talked about dividing the season into 4 7-game mini seasons. You have the first 7. You have then that middle 7 that you want to start building, and then the final 7 leading into the postseason, and then your actual postseason from the regional to the state tournament is a 7-game series itself also. So you want to make sure that you break it down that way, and each mini season that we have there, that we continue to improve and get ourselves better and make the adjustments that we need to make.
St. Ignatius with showing a little bit of offensive life, really the first that we've seen out of them in quite some time, as Quincy's controlled possession. And now St. Ignatius with into the center, and the header's going to go wide, and the Quincy keeper will grab it and go the other way. So again, that's something that's we haven't seen much of, a little offensive life out of St. Ignatius.
Yeah, definitely, and I think Gerst did a nice job coming out and handling the ball high. Something that we talk about, owning a 6, and he was able to do that on what became a pretty non-dangerous ball that Ignatius flighted into the 6.
Got 32 minutes remaining in regulation here at Flynn Stadium. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say the third game of the tournament on a hot day like today, overtime might not be the thing that anybody wants to see.
Yeah, I think the coaches, obviously IHSA regulations state, you have to agree on overtime before the game, and we had a shot there by Devin Watson there, but you have to agree on that before the game, and I know this morning they both coaches agreed that it was not in the best interest of the teams, and I would certainly believe that would be the case today too.
Well, thank you for that breaking news and that information. That helps tremendously, knowing those kind of little details. Mention that and get that out of the way early on, and not letting me sound like a moron early and talk about the possibility of overtime late. I certainly appreciate that. So, and here we go, Quincy with another effort, and it's going to be kicked away. And again, now that was 2 straight times down the field here. We've had some good offensive showings by Quincy, and now looks like they're going to have a chance to develop something.
Yeah, we'll have a corner kick here. It looks like Aubrey Dissel is going to flight the ball. And right now, we just want to get numbers in on the ball, hopefully get ahead on it, redirect it into the back of the net.
And here we go. Goes in and going to get knocked away. But Quincy still maintaining possession. Again, Quincy on the offensive end. And they've been the ones in the attack mode most of today. And it'll be going the other way. Early on in the season, you look for kids to step up, and I know the Blue Devils replaced a couple of really strong players. Bronson Melvin comes to mind, of course. And his teammate down, they're now playing Division II as well. Talk about those guys a little bit, and who has to step up to replace them this season.
Yeah, you have Blake Herman and Bronson who graduated, among others, but both those young men are down at UMSL now playing, and along with their former teammate Matt Burris, and having a nice start. I talked to Bronson this morning. It looks like Blake might actually get a start in a coming game, as Blake Wingard hits a ball just left of the keeper. But, with those two young men, I think both of them ended up in the top 10 scoring in Quincy High history. So you're having to replace a lot of offense. And I don't think it's going to be any one individual this year that's going to step up and take the place of those two young men. I think it's going to have to be a team effort and have a variety of people. I think Coach Longo said it on the Sports Center the other morning that he'd like to see 4 or 5 guys get 10 goals apiece, and that would be able to help alleviate that what we lost in Blake, who scored over 30, and Bronson, was a 4-year varsity letter winner who scored 10 a year. So,
yeah, I think that kind of balance is something that any coach would appreciate. You don't want to, put all your eggs in one basket. You want to have a lot of guys. You want to have a lot of options. You want to have depth. You want to have a lot of guys who can put the ball in the net. If you have one stud, it's always nice to have a go-to guy, but sometimes that go-to guy, well, he becomes a target for the other team, and when you have more of a balanced attack, it's certainly something your coach has a lot more options there, no question about it. And Gerst will once again field this one and send it the other way. Under 30 minutes to go here in the second half. Again, don't have to worry about regulation because the coaches have agreed there will be no overtime today. So, but both teams, of course, trying to get a win. As, again, Quincy entering this going 0-1-1 in their own tournament so far. But, again, this is their opportunity to make something happen. And, again, the ball goes down the field, and the Quincy keeper will pick it up, and not much of a threat. Again, we saw a little bit of offensive spark out of St. Ignatius, but then Quincy quickly countered with 2 strong shots on goal. And now Quincy maybe trying to get something else going here, but they are not going to. It's not going to happen. I assume we'll be taking another water break at the 20-minute mark as well.
Yeah, I think when you see a stoppage of play or a dead ball situation, they'll give them a break somewhere around that 20-minute mark. I think, again, legs are starting to get a little heavy as you see the attack. Seems to get a little more. We're getting a little bit more spread out on both sides. Seems like the counterattack might become the most dangerous option at this point.
Quincy gets it in quickly and making a move on goal, and the keeper's going to smother it. Really nice job by Blake Wingirder as he managed to get control of it quickly, but keeper came out, and a good stop on his part.
I think the thing there that happened with the St. Ignatius defense, for a minute, the young man paused. I think he was thinking the guy was offsides, but on a throw-in, there are no offsides, and that allowed Blake Wingirder to have a little bit of a look at goal.
27 minutes remaining. Quincy controlling the ball and trying to some shots on goal, trying to get a goal. We are scoreless here in the second half between Quincy and St. Ignatius. And substitutions now. Looks like J.D. Sohn preparing to come in. The freshman, lone freshman on this varsity roster. Again, sprinkled with a couple of sophomores, and I think one of the things we talked about early on off camera, this is not a senior-dominated team.
No, actually, we're very young this year. We have some experience returning, and Blake Dittmer and Aubrey Dissler, as of right now, but we're very young. A lot of juniors. I think Austin Danaholt, senior, out there, but with starting lineup right now, we have 3 seniors in it, the way things have been going so far this season. So young, still learning each other, developing that continuity, subbing patterns, and all that. So nothing I think is nailed down in stone yet as far as starting lineup, and it may look a little different as the season goes on.
You know, when you're in a community like Quincy, where it's a very strong soccer community, and the kids, a lot of them play together from an early age. Is this a group of kids? Is this a group of kids that has kind of grown up with each other? Because you see that in a lot of cases where guys will have played for a long, long time. Is this a bunch of guys who've really grown up and played with each other from grade school?
Yeah, I think, between Quincy United and the Quincy City Soccer League, a lot of these guys have experience with each other. And then obviously you throw in as our sponsors, the Diamonds, the Dynamo. A lot of these guys played together there last year, along with Quincy United as they grew up. So, and you can throw in even the indoor league at KNL Arena. So I think it's just more developing the style of play, going from system to system. Systems of play become a big part of how you play and how you use your personnel.
And I think the other thing that helps when you have two high school programs in town like Quincy has, where you have had coaches who've been there for a long time, that certainly doesn't hurt. You've got kids who come in, they know the style of play that Matt Longo and a Greg Reese are gonna want, and I think those kids can see that, and if they're paying attention. And again, a lot of times, they are kids. They got a lot of other things on their mind. But if they're paying attention, if they're serious about soccer, they're going to know what's expected of these guys long before they actually become Raiders or Blue Devils.
Yeah, and you add in the 25 contact days that the IHSA allows. This Blue Devil team essentially has already played 15 games before the season starts this summer, with 2 tournaments in Burlington and then a tournament down in the St. Louis area. So. Again, I think it's a matter of learning personnel, matching personnel, and allowing those younger players to learn the system that Coach Longo has utilized for the last several years.
So I've got some more substitution as St. Ignatius preparing to try to get an offensive attack going, and I'm seeing a lot of guys bending over and grabbing their shorts now, and trying to get that second win, because I know these kids are in great shape. They do work hard in the summer and all that, but even a day like today, it really tests them. And again, if they're not properly hydrated, if they aren't doing the things they need to do, and Quincy with the stop, nice job there by Gerst. And again, that was probably one of the best chances the St. Iggy's has had all day.
Yeah, it was from distance there, but the young man put a nice shot on frame. And Tyler Gerst handled it nicely with a forward dive, and allowed us to regain possession and push the ball forward.
No score with a little over 23 minutes remaining here at Flynn Stadium. Bob Goff and Travis Dinkeller bringing you the action. And again, want to thank our sponsors, Quincy Diamonds and Dynamo, Knox and Trucking, and Michael Libman, your MetLife insurance agent, bringing you not only this game, but the other broadcasts we'll be doing on Quincy Journal TV, and then we'll also have them all taped or recorded. It's not really tape anymore. I dated myself there. But we'll all have them archived on the hard drive, if you will, that you can go back and watch them. And again, I think that's one thing that I think a lot of coaches at the next level. As I saw Mike Carpenter from QU running around here somewhere. Of course, I think he's watching these kids. He's watching a lot of soccer in town he can watch. But I think these guys are now inundated with tape of players. And I know it's not soccer, but all sports. They're going to get DVDs. They're going to get thumb drives from kids and dads and moms saying, "Hey, my kid can play for you." And I think it's something that recruiting is tougher than it's ever been, but you've also, because you got a lot more voices and a lot more video and a lot of other things going on now that certainly great coaches of the past like Jack McKenzie didn't have to worry about, and Frank Longo as well.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a lot of kids being exposed to soccer with tournaments around, with club soccer getting as big as it is, and now you talk about with academy soccer, and every kid's dream is to grow up and be that full ride scholarship. And the reality is that's a much tougher thing than reality. So, things like grades become important, and I know are helpful to coaches like Mike Carpenter when he has a young man that can come in and get some academic money too to help him bring him to Quincy University. So there's a lot of aspects that go into that. You know, we certainly want a lot of our kids to go on and play at the collegiate level, but you know, money is limited, and so they have to do everything they can help themselves in other assets of their lives.
What's happening here?
We have a corner kick for St. Ignatius, who flights the ball in there. Looks like Matt Tosick got his head on that and was able to clear the ball into a less dangerous position. And now we have an offsides being flagged there. Looks like St. Ignatius got behind the defense before the ball was played through.
We're about midway through the second half here at Flynn Stadium, and next stoppage in play around the 20-minute mark. They'll take their water break with this excessive heat that we have today. And are they going to go ahead and do that right now? Looks like that is indeed the case, so we will step aside, and we'll be back with the remainder of this one here from Flynn Stadium. No score between Quincy and St. Ignatius.
In the past, everyone came to you and you did business at your own kitchen table.
This is Financial Services Representative Michael Libman with MetLife in Quincy. I still make house calls. I'll confidentially ask you questions to help you make decisions about your life insurance, IRAs, long-term care insurance, investing, and estate planning. Call me and I'll come sit with you at your kitchen table.
MetLife offers financial services and life insurance. Call Michael Libman. He makes house calls.
And we're back as the water break is over and 20 minutes remaining between St. Ignatius and Quincy High in the last game of the Quincy High tournament. As the Blue Devils looking for a win. They are 0-1-1 going into this action, and they'd sure like to get a win. And they have controlled the tempo of this game. They have more shots on goal. They've done a nice job, but as Travis has said, we are looking at game 3, third game in 2 days. You're looking at excessive heat in all of those games. Got a shot that's going to go wide. So Quincy then, another chance, but just can't quite get it on net.
Yeah, I like Braden Oaks stepped up there and made a nice play on the ball and flighted an early cross into the box. Keeper and Matt Tosick got there about the same time, and unfortunately Matt was unable to put that one away.
Apologize about that jerky camera move. I thought I was on a different shot, so now we'll get it set up here. And again, we'll have a little more assistance for more of these games a little later on. Holiday weekend, you know, good help's hard to find on a holiday weekend. I do appreciate Travis sitting up here. He's welcome anytime. A lot of guys, there are a lot of guys who know a lot about soccer in this town, and gladly take their assistance and help anytime. Yeah, no, it's as we sit here trying to get going again with the late in the second half. And now St. Ignatius has the ball and the possession. And now Quincy looking to try to get it back. This is one of St. Ignatius's longest possessions of the game, with no question about it. And now the keeper will just go ahead and return it to midfield. Quincy has it. We'll throw it in. And now in midfield. Oh! Bumped him hard off the ball, and that got noticed, right?
Yeah, Braden Oaks made a play on the ball and was fouled from behind by the St. Ignatius player. Hopped back up, got the ball set, and ready for a quick restart. And now we find Chris Clay there on the wing and looking to flight the ball in deep and see if we can create an opportunity that way.
St. Ignatius keeper grabs it. And going to get it all the way down the field. Quincy has it. It'll go out. And I believe St. Ignatius is going to get it. Looks to be the case. It's under 17 minutes remaining. St. Ignatius with it. Down in the corner as we follow along. Corner kick for St. Ignatius. And what's the defensive strategy on this?
You know, the big thing that we always talk about is keeping players on the post and being aware of a short restart there, which St. Ignatius is able to do. But we had two Blue Devils step forward and smother that ball before they became dangerous. Now Gerst comes out, picks up a ball there, and look for a long punt, see if we can start our offense.
You know, and that's the thing, you know, everybody, you know, the people who, you know, maybe are soccer novices like myself, you know, you think of a keeper and, you know, he's got to be quick and he's got to have those reflexes. How big of a, how much of a keeper's game is having the big leg?
You know, it depends, I think, on your system. You know, we play some teams that like to work it out of the backfield. They'll distribute the ball with a throw from their keeper. We like to, when possible, get a quick punt. Both Colin Shackleton and Tyler Gerst have the ability to kick the ball 60 to 70 yards consistently. So we can use that as an offensive weapon. I know back when I played, which seems like an eternity ago now, but Ron Bridle was well versed at that. I know he had several games where he recorded assists to Everett Abbey and Donovan Bradshaw, in which he quick punted the ball and they'd go down and tap one in for an easy goal. Corner kick here taken by Evan Kern, headed by Blake Dittmer there, and now we got ball laid back out to Evan.
And another shot on goal, but again, the St. Ignatius keeper right there. And, you know, the Blue Devils have had the chances. They've had their opportunities, no question about it. And, you know, I think the one thing, you know, in this game that, and we're going to have a whistle here, but, you know, when you're getting there and you're getting shots like that, and Quincy has gotten their share, it's important for Matt Longo to tell these guys, hey, just keep plugging away.
Absolutely. You know, soccer is a game where, you know, one goal can be the difference on nearly every single night. And I think the nice thing I like about what happened there was the ball bounced back out to Evan Kern, who flighted it one time back into Aubrey. And I think the more we can play one-touch soccer like that, the more success we'll have, as St. Ignatius is set here with a restart from about 28 yards out.
And it goes in, and ball in the air, and tapped out, St. Ignatius. Now Quincy trying to clear it. St. Ignatius has it, and they will try to reset. Quincy, though, with some good pressure, and here we go the other way. Oh, looked like Quincy might have had a chance to get something started, but St. Ignatius was back quickly, and now they are on the way, going the other way now. Now Quincy gets it and will kick it, and some of the Blue Devil faithful shouting some encouragement. I think they're wanting to see a goal here as well, because I don't think they want to sit out in this heat for a tie. It'd be nice for them to come away with a win. If you're going to sit out here and it's a 100-degree heat index, it's like, you know, if I want to sit out here and bake, I mean, you know, I might as well get a win for it. And, of course, I know Coach Longo really wants to get a win, as his team, you know, again, 0-1-1 so far in the tournament. St. Ignatius working it in the corner now. Blue Devils doing a nice job of picking them up and causing some problems, and header will send it, but St. Ignatius is going to get it back. And there's a shot, and it's going to hit the football upright. And again, no points for that. And now the Blue Devils with some more substitutions, as we have 12:30 left. No score here in the second half between Quincy and St. Ignatius. And Gerst with the kick. Going to get out to about the 40. And Quincy trying to move it along. Again, trying to create, trying to make something happen. Hunter Hosher was on the ball there. Again, he's been the offensive catalyst in the early part of this Blue Devil season, but again, haven't called his name much today. And now Devin Watson going to corral it. And here goes Quincy up the other way. It's going to be Curran. Curran gets knocked down, ball goes out, and what do we have?
We'll have a corner kick there. Evan Curran, I think, will take this. He made a nice run up the field, received the ball from Devin Watson. Tried to make a move around his defender, was unable to do so, but then attempted a flight, and then it was slide tackled away by the St. Ignatius defender. Like to see us get ahead on this ball here. We have a stoppage of play now. It looks like there's an injury to one of the St. Ignatius players. My guess is it's a cramp. By the way, he's leaning over, kind of stretching his hamstring there.
Yeah, we've had a couple of those guys on the sidelines certainly doing that, and again they need to be taking in all the fluids and everything they can. Again, there's the bus ride home for them. I don't think it's going to be terribly comfortable. I'm sure they have a charter. It'll be air conditioned. That'll be nice. But still, these guys want to get to a point where they can just stretch out.
And when we're on these long road trips, and when you live in Quincy, a lot of your trips are long road trips. But you stretch out. You have kids laying all over the floor. As we have a header there, Blake Dittmer redirects the corner kick into the side netting at the far post, beating the St. Ignatius keeper. So a great header there by Blake Dittmer.
Well, it's funny that we would mention drought on a day like today, but the goal drought is over for the Blue Devils, and able to get that scoring there. And how did that play develop?
Again, it started with the nice play into the corner when Devin Watson played the ball down to Evan Kern there before the injury timeout. Evan flighted a nice ball, and Blake was able to redirect it. And knowing Blake, he'll be a very happy camper. I like to tease him about the number of shots he takes per year, so I'm glad he got on the board there.
So the Blue Devils are on the board, 1-0, as now at 11 minutes to go in the game. It's just a question of can they continue to keep the St. Ignatius offense in check, because St. Ignatius has really had very minimal attempts today, had really not many shots on goal, and it's been the Quincy defense that's done a good job of playing keep away, of getting the ball back in the other end, and also their offense has done a good job of playing keep away and possessing. So this is certainly a case where you get that goal, you feel pretty good about yourself. I think the other thing is on a day like today, Travis, that goal has just got to be a second win.
When you're battling and you've had the opportunities that Quincy's had, and you're fighting the heat and your legs are tired, anything like that can be a pick-me-up, whether it be a quality shot on goal, but certainly putting a tally on the scoreboard is a huge pick-me-up to kind of finish that final 10 minutes. We have another restart here. Devin Watson looks like he's going to flight it from near actually 30 yards out from the goal, and probably looking to put this just over the 12 on a driven ball so that we can send somebody in on a header. And there it is, Hunter Hosher with the ball in the header off the crossbar. I believe that play was called stupid, play in which misdirections created, and now we have a St. Ignatius player down. Hunter Hosher made a great play on that ball.
We've got 9:35 remaining in the game. Quincy has a 1-0 lead over St. Ignatius. Just picking up that tally about a minute and a half ago, and now again the St. Ignatius player is down. And Marco Garabay is down. So he's getting some attention. And while who's doing that, we are going to take a quick break. It's 1-0 Quincy here at Flynn Stadium.
In the past, everyone came to you and you did business at your own kitchen table.
This is Financial Services Representative Michael Libman with MetLife in Quincy. I still make house calls. I'll confidentially ask you questions to help you make decisions about your life insurance, IRAs, long-term care insurance, investing and estate planning. Call me and I'll come sit with you at your kitchen table.
MetLife offers financial services and life insurance. Call Michael Libman. He makes house calls.
Ignatius player being helped off the field. The clock has stopped. 9:35 remaining. Blake Dittmer with the goal, and the Quincy Blue Devils are looking to secure their first win of their own tournament, and they are well on their way now, as I think that has to be quite a boost for these kids out here on a day when the heat index is in the 100-degree range, and just trying to hey, we got to get a win here. We lost and a tie yesterday, or lost yesterday, tie this morning. Trying to just power through this, and this is where they're at, and getting this win here, it's going to give them a good feeling, and a real good feeling going into the rest of the holiday weekend. How much time do these guys get off for the holiday?
We were talking about that. Obviously, we'll have the rest of the day and Sunday. We don't play till next Thursday again on the road down at Belleville. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if Coach gave them Monday off too. Let them enjoy a weekend, let their legs rest up, because our JV and our C team are actually down at DeSmet today playing too. So I know our C team finished with a 1-1 tie of DeSmet, and then the remainder, and it wasn't the entire JV team, but the remainder of the JV team that is not here in uniform is down at DeSmet today, and they suffered a 2-1 loss today to DeSmet, but DeSmet a very, very good program.
Yeah, definitely a noted Missouri, the St. Louis area Missouri soccer power. The Jesuits or the kids down there at DeSmet. So now in action going the other way. Quincy, another goal would be nice. No question about it, to seal the deal, because as anybody who's familiar with the game knows, a 1-0 game can be gone, 1-0 lead can be gone just like that. So certainly another one would be nice for the Blue Devils to try to do that. And looks like the ball goes out of bounds. What are we going to have here?
We'll have a goal kick restart by the St. Ignatius keeper or defender, as the ball just get away from Blake Dittmer in the corner there. So long flighted ball coming here, and as you said, with the 1-0 lead, it can disappear quick. A second one's always a nice one to have in a day like today. It does give you a little bit of ease. I know Coach Longo's philosophy is we never play for a tie or to hold a lead. We always want to play for more and want to continue to battle to get another goal. And if it's be 2, 3, or 4, we want to continue to push forward and attack and do what the Blue Devils do.
I think when you talk about the holidays and those days off, I would think, I know if I was a coach, I would probably make it the incentive of, hey, get this win, you get the day off. If you don't, well, I will see you then. So, but yeah, like I said, the 1-0 lead is that the Blue Devils currently have. We got 7.5 minutes remaining, and St. Ignatius, a sense of urgency, I'm sure they have, and now the flag goes up, and looks like the ball will go over to Quincy. Again, with just a little more than 7 minutes remaining in the game. Once again, I want to thank our sponsors, the Quincy Diamonds, Quincy Dynamo, also Knox and Trucking, as well as Michael Libman, your MetLife agent. And the fine sponsors of our video efforts here, Quincy Journal, QJTV we call it. And we got some more sponsors who are going to be coming aboard here shortly. I want to thank them and everybody who supports what we do at Quincy Journal. I want to thank you for your efforts as we try to do outside the box a little bit. I know, we do the political stuff, and we've been doing that, for in various forms for the last few years, but trying to do a little extra for the kids out here. And again, I do say that the folks who cover local sports in this market have done a great job for years. I'm talking about everybody. That's one thing I think, we can all agree on. And now we got them going the other way. And the shot and the stop, and the keeper is going to corral it.
Yeah, Hunter Hosher found himself with some space there, and I think tired legs didn't allow him to keep the ball out in front, but he still got a good shot off. And the nice thing there was seeing Blake Winiger follow it up as it deflected off the keeper's chest. Blake was right there just in case it got away from him a little further. That's something we've been stressing a lot.
St. Ignatius with it now on the far side. And there's just under 6 minutes remaining, so they will, again, the sense of urgency has to hit here pretty soon. The shot is wide, and Gerst will send it the other way as we have more substitutions coming in. Brady Wingirter and Riley Roth are going to check in. Some fresh legs down the stretch, and that's the thing. You know, sometimes in sports, kids will get on the bench and will kind of maybe sulk about it or not think they're getting their time. There's nobody going to ride the pine today. Everybody's getting minutes because of the weather and because of having the 3 games in 2 days. Lots of guys getting lots of time and seeing the pitch and getting a chance to really do to take part in being a Blue Devil. And now it's going to get into Gerst, and Gerst will handle it again with under 5 minutes remaining as Quincy seeks to get its first win of its tournament. Second win of the season, correct?
Absolutely. We started off the season with Monmouth-Roseville, a victory there. But I think the subs now at this late in the game and third game of the tournament, some of the subs are twofold now. You're trying to keep fresh legs on the field. Certainly want to keep the freshest legs out there to defend. You don't want to give up a late goal. It can be crushing blow. But at the same time, you're also utilizing them to kill some clock. As Hunter Hosher breaks free and hits a shot and tucks it inside the far post. Hunter Hosher's name hadn't been called a lot there, but he finished that one nicely.
Yeah, we had said that. He's been the offensive weapon in the early part of this season, but we'd said that he had been quiet today. Quiet no more. Hunter Hosher gives the Blue Devils a 2-0 lead with 4:18 remaining, and I don't know if it's insurmountable, but it's close for sure. And as we're trying to, these camera angles and trying to get these things, it's nice, good feeling when you get the goal, so the kids can go back and see that and take a look at what they did. And again, if you're St. Ignatius, it's like, okay, let's just get some ice, let's just get some air conditioning. I think it's time for us to head back to the Windy City as the ball goes over on the near side now, as they try to, one last valiant effort, try to see what they have left in their tank in order to make something happen. And we have a St. Ignatius player hit the turf. What's the call?
We got a trip there by Riley Roth, and I know the one thing that's going through Coach Longo's mind is right now 2 things. We don't want to give up silly fouls where we can put direct shots on goal. And a big thing as a former defender is you don't want to give up a goal now. You want to preserve this shutout, and that becomes the next thing that you're trying to accomplish on the field is to maintain that scoreless mark on as St. Ignatius, as I say that, St. Ignatius tucks one away. And that's a frustrating thing as a coach to give up that goal late when you're trying to preserve that shutout.
Well, it's funny because we talked about St. Ignatius having their daubers down and, feeling, start the bus, let's just get going. And what do? Bam! They're on the board. It's 2-1 as we've had more action in the last 10 minutes than we'd had for quite some time. And Quincy able to take a 2-0 lead, but now St. Ignatius counters. And now Quincy all of a sudden back to that 1-goal lead, and Matt Longo can't be pleased with that.
Yeah, I'm watching down there as you're talking there, and I see Coach Longo. He's a little frustrated with the situation. You work so hard, you get yourself a lead, and now you're kind of back on your heels as St. Ignatius puts another shot on frame. We have a stoppage here, stoppage of the clock, and they're going to reset the clock here. I think there was maybe the clock got started a little late after that goal. So, but I know as a coach, you're wanting to maintain it. You want to finish out a game, and that's something that we need to continue to focus on and have that urgency defensively.
2-1 Quincy, and now things do get a little tighter. St. Ignatius gets the goal, and Quincy has to hold them off. Again, they had the 1-0 lead, and then the 2-0 lead, feeling pretty good about themselves, and then bam, the lead is now down to 1 goal. What was that again?
Coach Longo always talks about the most important game in a 2-0 game or is the third goal, because it either puts the game away with a 3-0 icing or, now you're back in a battle for the last 2 minutes and 50 seconds as we have another Ignatius player down. And I think a lot of these injuries here are not coming from chippy play, but is more a result of tired and fatigue starting to set in.
And we're sitting here, 2:49 remaining. We are going to take a break while they tend to the player, and you are watching Quincy High School Soccer on Quincy Journal TV.
In the past, everyone came to you and you did business at your own kitchen table.
This is Financial Services Representative Michael Libman with MetLife in Quincy. I still make house calls. I'll confidentially ask you questions to help you make decisions about your life insurance, IRAs, long-term care insurance, investing, and estate planning. Call me and I'll come sit with you at your kitchen table.
MetLife offers financial services and life insurance. Call Michael Libman. He makes house calls.
The injured player is off the field, and we go to the final 2:49 here at Flynn Stadium. Quincy with a 2-1 lead over St. Ignatius. Quincy had taken a 2-0 lead. St. Ignatius got right back into it, and now Quincy trying to get its third goal. At least try to put this away, but here comes St. Iggy's coming the other way. And now they are getting it ahead, but Quincy manages to knock it away, and now we got a flag. What's this one on?
Looks like J.D. Sohn was tugged down there just outside the defensive third of the Blue Devils, and Ben Miro with a restart there that sails out of bounds. And again, I think now the focus has got to be being certain defensively and making good clearances and possessing the ball once we get in the offensive third. Possession out of the backfield is no longer important. It's about clearing the defensive zone and killing this clock.
Under 2 minutes remaining. St. Ignatius with it. Quincy looking to substitute. Looks like Blake Wingard are going to come in here at some point, but St. Ignatius making a move down the field. And now Quincy gets it, knocks it away. Quincy trying to turn it the other way. Good job. St. Ignatius player whiffs on it as it goes past the 50. And St. Ignatius with it. Minute and a half left. St. Ignatius weaving inside. It goes off a Quincy player. St. Ignatius now at the 15. And Quincy defense collapses. And now goes down in the corner. St. Ignatius gets it in. Knocked away by Quincy, but it's still in the middle. A shot, and it goes over the crossbar with a minute remaining.
Yeah, I see the sub coming here, Blake Wingard. I'm guessing he'll take Blake Dittmer off, and as Blake starts to jog off, kind of one of the tactics you can use as a coach is sending subs into the far side of the field because the clock remains to run as you're going there. I think mental fatigue is becoming an issue here too, as the Blue Devils have made some kind of had some defensive lapses there with clearances not being as crisp as we'd like them. Gerst flights the ball downfield, and Hunter Hosher picks one up and tries to play it to the corner.
And that one's going to go about a third of the way up into the bleachers here at Flynn. So a little souvenir time. Going to get the ball in. Final 26 seconds remaining. And Blue Devils will drop it and stop it with 20 seconds.
Little gamesmanship goes there. Ben Miro's got a really long throw in, so they bring Ben over, and the referee stopped the clock because Ben coming from the other side of the field to throw that in, in another attempt to get the ball downfield, but also kill some of that clock.
And the clock winding down to 0. Devin Watson has it. And that is going to do it. And the two sides are shaking hands, and that's going to be a final here from Flynn Stadium. Quincy goes 1-1-1 in its own tournament and gets a win, 2-1, hard-fought win over St. Ignatius of Chicago. Travis, thank you very much for sitting in.
Hey, thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun.
And we'll have this thing on the internet for everybody to look at. And again, we want to thank our sponsors one more time, Knoxon Trucking, Quincy Diamonds and Dynamo, and your MetLife agent, Michael Libman. For Travis Dinkheller, I'm Bob Goff. Once again, the final from Flynn, Quincy 2, St. Ignatius 1. Thanks for watching QJ-TV.
In the past, everyone came to you and you did business at your own kitchen table.
This is Financial Services Representative Michael Libman with MetLife in Quincy. I still make house calls. I'll confidentially ask you questions to help you make decisions about your life insurance, IRAs, long-term care insurance, investing, and estate planning. Call me and I'll come sit with you at your kitchen table.
MetLife offers financial services and life insurance. Call Michael Libman. He makes house calls.